What's up, what's up? It's been a couple of weeks since I last did a stream. I've been busy, been working a lot, been waiting for crypto, as I'm sure you all have. Waiting on crypto to make a move. Let's have a look, where are we? Let's open up the Bitcoin chart. What's going on with all the gaps? What the hell? Let me just change to my old list here. Okay, so the index chart has the action, but the USDT, there's all these broken gaps in there. I don't know what's going on with that. Not sure. But let me see if I can refresh it or something. This is the Binance Tether Bitcoin chart, and there's all these giant breaks in it. I don't understand. August. It's got a lot of data missing for some reason. Broken data. Alright, we'll just use the Bitcoin index for the Bitcoin analysis then. So one thing that I wanted to sort of talk about was the MEXC, the moving average convergence and divergence. So I'm going to bring that up. Where is it? Moving average convergence divergence. There it is. I'm going to jump onto the weekly chart, and basically I want to pick out all of the bullish momentum phases in Bitcoin and sort of highlight where they happen and where they end, kind of thing. So to do that, I'm going to get some vertical lines going. So 2016, I'll just use this as an example because it's a good example. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. But you can see the final dip here. Well, to be fair, the dip of the bear market happened back here in 2015 and rose like it did a cross back up. What's up, Crypto Storm? And let me just change to a different color. Okay, so the major cross was about here. So if we circle that, that's where the momentum really picked up. And then you had, you know, all of that upside. So if I go logarithmic, yeah, you can see it picked out the most optimal time to get in at that point. And if I zoom across, there was a moment where it crossed back down for 3 weeks, like where it started to lose that momentum and the bearish price action picked up, and you can see that's about here. So if you were to trade this, if you were to have, you know, taken that signal, it would have basically been like a break-even trade. It didn't really go anywhere. But not long after that cross back down, you got a cross back up here again. So that's like getting back into the market. And so that turns it on. It turned off over here. So that was somewhat of an appreciation in value. But yeah, if you use the weekly chart, you can sort of see where the market turns off and then back on again with the MACD. So this is a strategy that I was like watching on a different channel called Financial Wisdom. But I'll put a link to that in the chat in a minute. But yeah, like check out this. This is the back end of the bear market we came out of in 2022. We actually got a MACD cross up. You can see how oversold it got, like how sold off the MACD got. And that told people to sort of get long in this area at around 24K. And then down we went. There's the FTX crash. But there was no cross down, so you could have got long in here and stayed in a long, and then taking this part here as the exit, which was 27K. So it's not that impressive of a move from 24 to 27, but the point is, like, yeah, it tells you when the momentum is favoring upward direction or downward direction, depending what you're going for on the weekly MACD. So when the market turns on the weekly, you jump back to the daily chart. So let me just circle when it turned on and then when it switched back off again over here. And there's nothing wrong with getting back in when it switches back on. So that's always like a, what's up, Kwai? What's up, Anonymous? Go down to the daily. So different MACD readings on the daily chart, of course. So we know that I'm just going to find you the video. So let me grab that. It's Financial Wisdom. So bear with me. I'll grab that. So the point is, this guy, Financial Wisdom, is currently not in Bitcoin. He's waiting for it to MACD cross up on the weekly. So I'll show you where that would be. There's got a couple more other things I want to sort of talk about with Bitcoin as well. So you can see how to cross down. There was the cross up here, which would have get you, had you buy in on this big fat green candle here, and you would have rode all the way up here, and then you can see that the momentum turns back off again over here, which lines up with this candle here. So there's a trade there. You can do this on the daily as well. Like this isn't just exclusive to the weekly chart, but this is just like more of a broader term swing strategy, I suppose. All right, let me find you that video. I'll put it in the YouTube chat. That's the video that I'm talking about with the MACD. Yeah, there's that Buy the Dip song. Alright, won't be a second. Alright. Sweet. Oh, yeah, I've got a cold though. Dolphin. Thank you. What's up, Let's Mars and Blake? How are you, man? Just buy the dip. Buy. Yeah. Buy the dip. Alright, so MACD specific. It's crossed back down, so it is bearish at the moment. In the last, I think it's been within the last hour, we've had like a bit of an uptick on crypto. Like, check it out, like this little bounce here. It's found a bit of resistance. You can see the wick, the top side wick on Bitcoin. XRP had a big nasty wick at the top there too. So it's like pivoting potentially, unless it finds support, of course. What am I going to talk about? I'm still in XRP, by the way. Where's the Brad Garlinghouse candle? Right here. That's the Brad Garlinghouse. It retraced, gave back a lot of that move. Arguably the whole move. And now it's kind of double bottomed. So to be honest, XRP's looking pretty juicy. You've got a low here, another low here, double bottom. You've broken market structure back to the upside because there was the last high was here, and now you've punched that high twice. Only with wicks though, so it's not totally convincing yet, but we're in like a rectangle, to be honest. It's like that. But once we burst out the top, or if we do, that'll be looking really good to go chase this previous high that XRP achieved. The other scenario would be, the down scenario would be that this is a big rising wedge, or has been, like XRP has been in like a rising wedge since this low here, and it's kind of like bled out of it, lost that trend line, but it's trying to get back in. It's rejected once. You know, we're gonna see if it's gonna reject again, but that could be a short if it fails to get back up on top of that trend line. You know, if it gets rejected, then that could be a nice short. Maybe even to come test just that low there. Well, this is like an old flag that I was trying to follow, but it kind of just skimmed down the edge and didn't really go anywhere. Double bounce off the flipper perhaps, but yeah, it's XRP. It's been, I don't know, the drama has kind of been turned down a lot. You can see that XRP is like working its way into a massive triangle. If I go on the daily chart, you can see like the highs getting lower and the lows getting higher on the macro, right? So like, do we come up here and test that, get rejected and come down once more? You know, that could very well play out, something like that. But the apex of this doesn't happen until June. So the 1st of June, all the way over here. So we could be getting a lot more choppy price action until then, until we finally decide to get on out of here. It really depends on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin really depends on the economy. stock market. If you've seen that M2 money supply theory, very, very like interesting. See if I can find it. Let me go search through Twitter, Crypto X, M2 money supply with Bitcoin. Yeah, this offset theory. Open image in new tab. There we go. Okay, so there's two different sort of approaches on it, according to this guy anyway. There's the 70-day offset, which Bitcoin has been like fairly correlated with. You know, and then according to this, we should be taking off today, according to this 70-day offset, this 24th of March 24th blast off, like where money supply seems to have, you know, bounced real hard, and money supply's actually got a new all-time high. Or there's the 107-day offset, which has a bit more of a technical, you know, price correlation of Bitcoin than the 70-day. You can see the difference. Like, look how similar it sort of tracks. And we've got this, yeah, look, this mini rally that fails, apparently. So on Bitcoin, if that happened, let me just clear all the indicators. Go on like the daily. He's suggesting that it would go something like this mini rally that fails and then comes down and double bottoms with, you know, 76K again. 77, you know, and then takes off later with the money supply, right? Something like that. That's what I get out of that picture. Sort of goes up, down again, and then, you know, we blast off in late April. Hopefully it's more like the 70-day, but we'll see. We'll see. Another metric to have a look at is the trueflation data. Where are they at today? 1.79. Okay, so all of that progress where they got down to like 1.38, 1.32, 1.3 down here has now bounced back up to almost 1.8. But either way, that's a lot better than 2%, the 2% target which the Fed is trying to achieve. So hopefully that sends the next CPI downward, because that would be bullish for crypto and all markets, you know, showing that inflation has cooled again. All right, so another thing I want to check out on the macro view is the sort of death cross, golden cross situation on the daily. So we are threatening a death cross on the daily chart. You can see the orange lines coming up fairly close to the blue line for a death cross. We had one late last year, like halfway through last year, August. It's a death cross, but it got supported, luckily, and we were able to turn it back on again. We got the golden cross here. So that was, you know, late October. This was all the hype for the election, you know, the US presidential election hyped up. And then, you know, this is where basically Trump won the election on that candle there, and then bang, that's what we saw, this huge markup. What's up, Melissa Metal Fab? So yeah, we've been golden crossed for some time, like since late October on the daily. The weekly is under no threat. You can see we're still hugely elevated on the weekly. Look at the bounce we got off the 50 weekly EMA. So we've come down to recheck it, found support on it, and then You know, what's next? Who knows? But you know, you can see we almost triple checked it here. We checked it once, twice, 3 times, and it's acted as a pretty good amount of support. If you go back to previous cycles for the weekly 50 EMA, maybe I'll go logarithmic so you can really see it, but you can see in the 2016-17 cycle, it used that 50 as like a trampoline a few times. It was actually a lot more healthy. This bull market was way more, like, stayed elevated for way longer and didn't have to, you know, threat any kind of downturns really. So you had like maybe one there, maybe two. It touched it here, but yeah, like, look, you can see it's landing way sooner than needing to come and check the 50 EMA, weekly EMA. That's the cool thing. So EMAs and SMAs are kind of fun to sort of see and play around with, like where the market's sitting. So I'm going to remove them and let's just put in an SMA, a simple moving average, just a straight up unbiased moving average. I'm going to change it to 365 days, so 365 length, and then change it to like yellow. And then let's go to the daily and check out this. This is interesting. How smooth is that? Like the way we've sort of... So from a 365 day average, Bitcoin has got above it since, look at the way we've like rejected off it, and then we got above it here in March of 2023. Did this huge like reaccumulation consolidation thing, almost came in contact with it as of September, but then there was that ETF hype train, ETF sell-off, ETF inflow, and then we did this was like the bulk of 2024. You remember the falling broadening wedge, but look at how it came into contact like twice. Once definitely here and almost making contact here. That's interesting. Like it's been using this as like a ramp to come up. So that is another interesting moving average to check out, the 365 day SMA, or simple moving average. Whoops. SMA. Pretty cool. I got 18 people tuned in. What's up, guys? Smash up the like button, guys, by the way. Smash it up. So, hang on a second. Way up. Oh, thank you, Kwai, for sharing the YouTube link to my video in your channel there. I have to remember to drop them through all the networks, through all the... I wish I had a bot that would just automatically do it, but I'm not that clever. What other cool ideas are out there? Let's go back and analyze Bitcoin from a market structure perspective. So I mean, the weekly's quite easy. We're on weekly Bitcoin. You can see if you use the path tool, you know, let's just simplify. That's the bear market. Okay, we know the low came in around here. Cool. So we've got like a move up, an up thrust. I know I'm kind of ignoring all the moves between this, but from here to here, that's a move up. This is a move sideways and slightly down. So it double bottomed here actually. So we'll just pick this bottom here. It's essentially the same as this bottom. But either way you cut it, it's the same low, right? So I'll just pick this one. That's cool. And then from there we tried to move up here, but then it sort of rewound again and then did it again. So the next high sort of came in. I don't know, you could pick this one and then pull it back to here, but I'm more inclined to pick this one up here and then pull back to here, the lowest low since that high. Now the highest high since this low, obviously, has been over here. And then the lowest low since that high is here. Can you see the sort of rhythm? The pattern is still intact as an uptrend on this time frame, or this way of reading the market. There's no threat yet. The threat comes if you break down and lose this low here. So we've got so much below us, so much structure. You basically have to get lower than 50k. 50k is like, you've confirmed like a break of weekly market structure if you get lower than 50, I think. There's also this high, this SR flip. Like if you flip that, that's also like an early signal that things aren't looking good, right? If you lose 74k, get below it, and then fail to break above it, that's just confirmation that you're heading down even like further. So be careful of that too. But I think we're good for now. I think there's enough demand to hold Bitcoin, you know, at least above 80,000. But you know, we'll see if that changes, if things change in the next few days. You know what, we're fast approaching not only the end of March, but the end of the first quarter of the year. So if you go to the 3-month chart, this is Bitcoin in quarters. So let's have a look. We got the 4th quarter of last year was so cool. I loved it. Same with the 4th quarter of, wait, this is the 1st quarter of last year. So last year had really good 1st and 4th. The 2nd and 3rd quarters were that was like the big reaccumulation phase, you know, that falling broadening wedge situation that we had. That was a bit of a pain, but yeah, Q4 and Q3 of 2023, what a time to be alive, you know. It sort of happened under our noses. But much like, you know, how we got out of the COVID dip, like we had those really nice quarters over here. We had, what's that? That's Q3, that's Q4, Q1. So Q4 of 2020, Q1 of 2021. So those two there are a nice big matchup. Let me just go logarithmic. So yeah, it's hard to pick it. It's, you know, the 4-year cycle with Bitcoin, it makes you think, okay, we've still got so much bull market to go. So there's, you know, don't stress, just be patient. I'm still in that camp. Like, I'm still thinking that the rest of this year's going to be good. I'm watching very closely every day still. Like, I'm still checking the charts. I've still got my computer on with charts open 24/7. Like, I never stop looking at the market. It's been quiet. I haven't been streaming as much. The Discords are quiet. Like, that's telltale of, you know, the volatility squeezing and you know, boring accumulation, reaccumulation phase or distribution whatever it may be. So if you look at like Wyckoff theory, this very well could have, I'm sure you can find a schematic that sort of fits this as being some kind of distribution up here, like this section. Much the same as what we had back in 2021 over here. We had this like distribution, Wyckoff distribution thing that happened. So comparing it, it kind of looks like we're dealing with this, this recheck of the 365-day simple moving average. You know, like we've just had this big recheck, and maybe we get another leg up. So if I get a ghost pattern happening like this, to sort of explain it further, it'd look something like this, like that. I almost don't even have to manipulate the candles, but I know that things don't happen identically with the market, like from past cycles. Like, just because it happened once here doesn't mean it has to happen like that exactly in the future, right? But this just shows what can be possible, right? So you can get this big nasty recheck of the 365-day, bounce, get the last leg of the bull market, you know? And the thing is, okay, Bitcoin's been spectacular anyway. Like, this has been an incredible bull market. Either way you cut it, like, from the FTX lows, right? We've come up all this way. We've got above $100,000. That's no small feat. That's a big deal. And I think, yeah, there's potential for more to be on the table. Like, we can still come up, and, you know, maybe even come up to 150 or 200K. But just because Bitcoin starts to slow down, it doesn't mean that the opportunity isn't there in other assets, like in other altcoins, right? So XRP is another exciting one, because it's finally won the case against the SEC. Brad Garlinghouse put out a video not so long ago, like, what was it, like 4 days ago, that the appeal was dropped by the SEC, so, you know, it's all over, and now XRP has the freedom to just move as the rest of the market has been able to move, without any kind of extra speculation. But this, to me, this looks very bullish. Like, compare XRP with anything. Like, let's bring up Bitcoin even. Bitcoin, new price scale. It's been holding up better, if not at least similar to Bitcoin. Bring in any other altcoin, and you can see how much better XRP has been weathering the storm. Like, compare it to Doge. I don't mean to pick on Doge, but look at that. I mean, Doge gave most of the amazing run back, like, just like it did last year. You know, we had that really impressive start to the year, and then it gave it all back. Like, eventually it bled it all out, only to, you know, produce another buy opportunity to get you in before the next massive explosion. So I'm not ruling Doge out by any means. Like, I still think Doge can rip to the upside. What's up, Alchemist? So yeah, keep your eyes on Dogecoin as well. But yeah, back to the point, XRP holding up quite strong. I think even if you get XLM on there, because XLM is the one that's supposed to, like, track with XRP quite closely. But yeah, look, it's the same thing. It's in like this falling structure. Now, if I go to an XLM chart, let me just clear that. Let's go to XLM. That, to me, is very inviting. Like, it's very bullish to me. Look, check it out. You've got a trend line here, which is kind of uniform on the bottom side, if you see that. See the wicks touching that line? And then you've got another one up here, which is like falling like this. Not as uniform, like it depends where you cut it, but you want to try and get the most like touches possible, like maybe something like that. But that's bullish. That's a bullish pattern. I think XLM is just waiting on the market to, you know, finally level back out and then continue to climb. If it is the, you know, the second phase of the bull, or whatever phase you want to call it, I think, you know, bull market 2.0. But it wouldn't surprise me if XRP gets that big mammoth breakout eventually. Then XLM is going to probably do something like this, like break out of here, find support on the top of the falling wedge, and then take off with XRP. You know, bounce off the flipper. So the fact that you guys have tuned into this stream, you guys are actually dialed in when it matters, because a lot of retail is not looking at crypto at the moment. They're kind of jaded. They've probably lost interest. They've lost hope. They're frustrated. They've lost money probably. They're liquidated. You know, their account's worth 20% of what it was or something, or 10%, whatever. Whatever it may be, there's a lot of people that aren't watching right now. And that usually sort of highlights the time to get in and actually pay attention. Like, this is when these quiet slump times is when you buy and you build the next swing up, because we are in like a mini depression in crypto at the moment, I would say, especially with altcoins. It's been miserable. Like, you only have to look at any altcoin. Look at that. It's terrible. This is Rune. I'm just gonna go down the list. Like, look, Pepe, hammered, absolutely hammered. 1 inch, hammered. Algo, hammered. Okay, Bitcoin kind of hammered still, but it's still up a little. Core, damn. eGold, hammered. Ethereum, hammered. Hedera Hashgraph, huge correction off the highs. Injective, hammered. Jasmy, you get the picture. It's a bloodbath all over. So the cool thing with that is, what does a bull need? Like, what's the first ingredient to a long? And that is a dip. You need a low to buy. You know, like if you're gonna go long, you need a low, and then you need the market to grow to a high so that you can sell. So this can be the start of something big if you find the right asset to buy its dip on, you know. Let's go to the meme coins, because they're hilarious. I'm just gonna go to like a split view of the Peanut in the last 2 days has been on the move. Look at that. It's up 17.5% today. Fartcoin has been rallying over the last week. Jeez, look at that. Off the lows, Fartcoin has come up 144%. Holy shit. It's actually been a really good March for Fartcoin. Mudang is still, you know, a bottom feeder. So is Whiff. Pepe, kinda interesting. But yeah, guys, look, you can see that Mudang, Chillguy, and Whiff, you can just see, just by looking at them on this daily chart, they're down on the lows. Like, you know, you haven't missed the boat. You've kind of missed with Peanut. You know, the lows were down here, right? Obviously, you've got like lows, lows, lows. I would not be chasing this. Don't buy Peanut right now. Like, that's dangerous as hell. Because you could face another drawdown, retracement back to the cradle, you know? You want to get in on the cradle. You don't want to get in on the move up. You've already missed the boat. So these Chillguy, Whiff, Mudang, arguably Pepe and Bonk are still kind of low, and Shiba is low. They're still down in the nursery, you know. It's still safe to get on board with, you know, you could stop loss it if you want. Like if you're scared that it's going to drop again, then just stop loss it. But yeah, look, it's possible. Like everyone knows that Fartcoin's a shitcoin, you know. Like what does Fartcoin have over Chill Guy or Moodang? They're no different to me. They're all shitcoins, right? So, you know, just pick a meme coin and try to. I'm not gonna suggest which one, but you know, if this is possible, I'm just sort of highlighting what can be possible. Like Fartcoin did that, Peanut did that. So why would that mean that Whiff and Moodang and Chill Guy can't do that? Of course they can. It's just a matter of time. Like they've done it before. Look, Chill Guy did it over here, Moodang did it here, Whiff did it here. So yeah, I think I've made myself pretty clear with that. Okay, let's look at the more blue chip, because these are the meme coins, the blue chips, the daily. So, as you see, Ethereum still giving up market cap, still heading downward, while Bitcoin, completely opposite correlation, like it's going up. XRP has been extremely choppy, but you know, in the last week it has kind of bounced, probably because of Brad Garlinghouse. I heard someone call him Bread Garlic House, Garlic Bread House. anyway, Brad Garlinghouse, he caused that candle the other day. All right, let's go to the daily. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Okay. So yeah, even the blue chips don't look that incredible on the daily, do they? They look like they've been obliterated, especially Ethereum and Solana. Dogecoin, these three. Chainlink as well, and Sui. So this view, to me, this highlights how strong XRP has been out of these 8. So XRP and Bitcoin seem to be holding the market up. Ethereum has dropped the ball big time. Maybe this is like the huge opportunity for Ethereum that no one's, like, retail's not seeing it. Retail does not like Ethereum at the moment. The market doesn't like Ethereum at the moment, so maybe that's the best entry to it. You know, it's cheap, it's sold off. Same with Dogecoin. You got to use that sort of reverse psychology. Let's look at the screener. The screener is always a lot of fun, so I'm just gonna leave that 8 view. What's up, Buddy? Buddy Langford and Starchild. And Frank, Lord Olay. Pair screener. So if you open up the pair screener, you can see you can arrange things by performance. So this is the final hour of the Sunday candle. It's actually Monday morning for me. 9 a.m. you can see 9:09 a.m. UTC plus 10. So what's W? It's up 25% today. W. Just a random day out of the blue, out of all these down days. Pirate coin, fart coin. Someone said Popcat. Let me see if I can find Popcat in the list. Peanuts up there, which is cool. Where's Popcat? Maybe this exchange doesn't have it. Even Trump is up 6.66%. That's a devilish number. 666. Skirt. There's Popcat. Hey. Popcat. Alright, let me go down to the hour. Ah, yeah, I guess. What a grind. Damn. Yeah. So this is real, like, sort of zoomed in, dialed in micro kind of stuff, but yes, there's a resistance here that exists. I don't know why my lines are doing that. Let me turn off these. There we go. Yeah, you've got highs, very obvious highs, and you've got a climb happening. There's like, at least here, something like that. It's like being funneled up into an apex over here. Let's see if it can pop out, you know, ascending triangle. You sort of had a similar rhythm over here, but it got lost. There was like arguably a trend line there. This actually went parabolic at the time. You can see it started here and it went like that. But then the parabola was lost as it moved through it. But yeah, interesting. When you zoom out, you can see in perspective like how far PopCat has dropped. Like, just everyone's got out of it, sadly. The memes are just not on right now. It's very much a meme risk off environment. No one's trying to rally meme coins right now, unless you're in like a random pump of the day. Like, kind of, I feel like memes, they have like this flavor of the day or flavor of the week kind of vibe to them. So you can see Whiff had one back here, Mudang as well. You know, Peanuts had some really big moves. Peanut's quite volatile. If you can catch Peanut on a sell-off and buy into it, like when it's looking like crap, I mean, look how many times in the last, you know, month it's had these really big explosions upwards. Really cool. Fartcoin's just like a big scooping low and climbing. Interesting. But if you go to the weekly, yeah, look at that. Fartcoin popped up off the bottom. I think Chill Guy could be interesting. Whiff and Chill Guy. We know Whiff has performed in the past. Whiff is like, I don't know, I've got like a... Whiff is like my little... I don't want to say guilty pleasure because I don't have any of it, but it's like my little wild card. It's like one to watch. Bonk as well. Bonk has proven to be a high performer. When the flavor gets turned on, like when the market gets turned on, Whiff and Bonk have proven to move really well. Pepe, even like within the last year, has proven to have like a community that backs into it and gets into it, you know, and makes it rally. So you just gotta wait for the right phase, the market phase. And the weird thing with memes is they can have a phase anytime. Like whether you're in a bull market, a bear market, you know, a crypto winter, like they can just pop off for no reason at any moment. It's really crazy. But structurally and from a technical analysis perspective, they've sold off and, you know, they've dipped. Fartcoin's kind of suggesting that the dip is in, that the low's in. How's Pi doing? Ooh, I don't think it's doing very well. I sold out of it at like $2.20, I think. Let me have a look. Wait. What was here? Let me undo Pepe. All right, let me go back to... Oh, Celephant, thank you for the subscription. I'm gonna go back to the solo chart view and look at Pi coin and zoom way out. That was Pi Day, by the way. Nothing really happened on it. Nothing really happened on Pi Day. It was a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing. Like it's a calendar event type sell off. Like, you know, Dogecoin SNL. Like, oh, rally up into Pi Day. Start selling it before the day. Yes, because you know, look what happened. It just sold off. It's back below $1 now. I sold it over here in this volatility. I could have sold it up here, but I was holding on because I was greedy, thinking that we were gonna get, you know, more rallying, but I realized, you know, okay, it's dying out, it's broken structure, I gotta get the hell out. So it's hard, like, it's very difficult unless you're not greedy. Selling into strength is difficult because it makes you think that there's going to be more to come. Like, it really encourages your greed when things are rocketing up, right? You can say the same with any asset, whether it's crypto, stock market, whatever. When things are going up, it feels like they're just going to continue going up, and like, oh, I'll sell it tomorrow, I'll sell it next week when it's up another 10%. But so yeah, selling into strength is difficult. It's almost as difficult as buying blood, like buying lows. Buying lows feels so wrong at the time because it feels like everything's broken and that it's only going to go lower. Like you're buying a falling knife. Oh my God, it's just a dead cat, you know? It's just a dead cat bounce. Stay away from the market. But I don't think Pi is going anywhere, so, you know, this could be the start of a really good, like, reaccumulation zone below $1. If you can get Pi below $1, it's proven to rally really fast, like, when it gets turned on. Like, it moves pretty quickly. You know, even that little pickup there. Like, if you even just capture that, something like that, what percentage is that? That's like a 34% move in 3 hours. That's really rapid, you know? That's good. So, Pi is still interesting to me. If it gets listed to Bybit, maybe I'll play it again, but I've since moved what I had on Pi. I've moved it all off BitGet, and I've brought it all to Bybit, and I've just bolstered up my XRP trade further because I'm still very optimistic for XRP. Not financial advice, but XRP looks pretty dangerous, like as in good. Like it looks like it's gonna. Just the fact that it's hanging out and holding $2, like the $2 level is like right here, the white line. Sorry about all my lines, but let me just turn some of them off. I think it's safe to get rid of some of these. I'm going to get rid of the white ones. But yeah, we got... let me change the color of this so that they stand out. So that the triangle stands out. Yeah, we've got this triangle. This is a bullish, arguably a bullish setup. Like, you've rallied up into the triangle, right? And it's squeezing, everything's squeezing to like an apex where you get a climax and then BAM! So this is cool, I like it. $3 up here. We haven't really managed to stay above $3 terribly long, like just this little cluster. $3 is a big deal for XRP. I've noticed there's a lot of videos of people saying that XRP can get to $10,000. Don't listen to that crap. It's not real. It's not true. It's highly, highly unlikely, especially in this phase, this market cycle. So, you know, let's see $3 again first, you know? Let's see if we can even get to 4. I would be impressed if we can get up to $4, then cool. Then we'll look at 5. Like, just deal with it at $1 at a time. You know, people talking about $10,000 XRP, that's just, it's garbage. That's not gonna happen. You know, I'll put my reputation on it, if that even means anything. You can't get XRP to $10,000. Unless you murder the supply, like if you burn all the supply off, then yeah, cool. You've changed the tokenomics of it, and that's when you can get it to 10,000. But with the current supply that it has, there's no way. Like, it basically, what you're asking of the world, of the economy, the global economy, is everyone to sell all assets and rotate it all into XRP, like globally. That's what it needs. It would need trillions and trillions of dollars to get it to 10,000. Anyway, I mean, Bitcoin, crypto as a whole, crypto total market cap, like, where's that at? What's the all-time high of total? Is it like 3? 3.75, so it hasn't even hit 4. That's still huge. I'm not discounting that, but yeah, yeah. Anyway, I've made my point. XRP to 10,000. I wish. But look at this. Okay, so total crypto market cap is, you know, it had a moment of price discovery, right? And there was a dip below the old high, but we're back underneath it. So we need crypto total to come up and prove that it belongs in a bull market, and that to get it back above this old all-time high line, right? We need to get back above 3 trillion, essentially. I think it's possible. Like, I'm optimistic still. What's up, Isaac? Hey, Rick. Once the market wakes up, it has room for going down some more. Yeah. So there's always room to go down. Yeah, unfortunately, it hasn't been as eruptive as the last bull market, where we got through the old all-time high crypto total market cap and then just rocket, and then just it went bullish since then. It's been quite different this time. Like, we got through it, went up, but then stalled, and then, you know, tried to use it as support and then lost it, and now we're below it. It's just not like last time. Last time was a lot more straightforward. The time before that, there were some dips, but it never really got daily closes consecutively below the previous high. So optimism was easier to maintain back in that bull market, I would argue. But this time it's getting scary, because, like, look at the consecutive amount of days that we've spent below the previous all-time high market cap. Total market cap. So it doesn't have to mean anything. It just means that it's taking longer than the previous cycles. I think a lot of that's due to stock market, you know, reflective of the stock market. Bitcoin's looking really cool at the moment. It's gunning, it's trying, like, let's see if it can make it to 86,000. XRP, $2.42. Very cool. Very cool. I'm running out of breath. I've just had a cold. The last 3 days I've had a really bad cold. Haven't slept very well because of it. So I'm still a little bit sick, but I feel a lot better. I just need, you know, a good 3 days off. I've got 3 days off rostered from work, so I'm all good. I can relax, but I've been non-stop. I've been very busy working. So we had a cyclone here not that long ago, like 3 weeks ago. We had a cyclone, and that was annoying. Thank you, Alchemist. Yeah. So yeah, power outage and, you know, cleaning up around the house, that kind of stuff. All the leaves and all the water, like, carving up the ground and whatever. I think some areas were flooded. Definitely the coast got hammered the worst, but yeah. Queensland is a lot like, I'm guessing, Florida with the weather. Especially North Queensland. Right. Total. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Yeah, I have no idea what broke the Bitcoin tether chart for Binance, but there's these giant data gaps on it for some reason. I don't know what's going on, but might have to use the index chart instead for Bitcoin, like this. But it's cool to see everyone, all the OGs tuned in. Love you guys. I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I just haven't streamed much. There hasn't really been a whole lot to talk about. There's a lot of good channels that are consistent, so you can always tap in and check what's going on. But yeah, I'm always here. If you ever get super stressed, you can direct message me on Discord and be like, are you still alive? And I'll be like, yeah. I'm still here. I'm still watching the charts. I haven't gone anywhere. I'm still in my positions. I haven't sold my XRP yet. I'm currently underwater on XRP though. I need it to come back up to $2.66 just to break even, but even then, I think it's gonna go beyond $3 out of this, but let's see. Just have to wait. It just, to me, that, I don't know, I think if XRP was gonna fail and come down, it would have done it already. Like, look at all this evidence. Like, it's being supported. Every time it approaches $2, it gets bought up violently. Like, you know, okay, look, $2, violent buyback. $2, violent buyback. $2, very violent buyback. $2 here, you know, real nasty dip, violent buyback, and another violent buyback. So I've got a lot of faith in $2 XRP. That's, to me, that's like, you know, grab it while it's there, grab it while it's hot. And I think a lot of the market sees it like that way too, evidently, because of all the buybacks, the way it's coming back up. If you're going to trade this like a range, then yeah, you want to sort of be closing those longs when it gets like above 270 or, you know, or so. That's if you're just trading the range. But if you're in it for the long haul, I think XRP's still got a lot of room to move and grow. I really don't know how high. Maybe like $8, $10 would be incredible. But yeah, let's see what it can do. Hopefully there is some movements out of the rest of this year. Oh yeah, shout out to D-Block. D-Block's incredible. His channel's really popping, by the way. His Discord's very active. There's so many people in there. Yeah, check him out. Let me link D-Block's YouTube channel in my chat here, in the Discord. Oh, sorry, in the YouTube chat, just so you know how to, like, where he is. He's called Crypto Cypher. Where's his live? Here. Okay, give me a second.
When you can find the best sim.
Okay, that's D-Blocks. I'm sure you can find your way into that Discord if you watch that stream, and maybe he's got it in the description or something. But he's another OG. He was around in the Tame the Ark days, where a lot of us met for the first time back in 2021. But yeah, as far as getting into his Discord, just what does it say here? It says, join our community on Discord, access the free section, and connect with like-minded individuals. Just message dblock.eth on Discord or reach out to our mods for an invite. So I'm going to copy-paste that statement into the chat here. So check that out. What's up, Brandy? Yeah. I might have to hang out in there and pay those guys a visit too soon. But yeah, there's a few different communities now on the Discord. It's kind of the way Discord goes over the years. Like you know, a community gets built, and then it's highly likely that it splinters out and forks. You get for like, to put it lightly, like you get hard forks. You get all these new little subgroups that happen, and you know, people just find their niche. People find their crowd, and they, you know, there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay. But I still love everyone. All the groups, like all the channels, all the people. We're all the same, right? We're all just trying to make money in crypto. We all have the same interest, roughly. Just different styles, different personalities. Make it, you know, hard to be all in one place sometimes. But anyway, let me go back to the 8-way split on the blue chips. So XRP's really turning it on right now. Same with Bitcoin. Even Ethereum's getting a candle. Good old Ethereum. Poor Ethereum. I feel so sorry for Ethereum. It's had a rough year. Like, you know, all the optimistic moves out of Bitcoin and XRP, and Ethereum's just like, you know, it's still like, I don't like this is testament to how huge Ethereum is. It is still second on CoinMarketCap. Second by market cap size. Look, $240 billion is still in Ethereum. Yet Ethereum has had a pretty weak year, like, so far. Like, check it out. So there's the 1st of January 2025 here. It's been doing nothing but trending down since then. It had a bit of a rally, like with the rest of the market. Like, it rallied up nicely to 4,000, but now it's below 2. Like, it's back to 2,000. It's given a lot of that back. It's come down 50%. It's a very rough, and it's lost this multi-year uptrend, like this trend line here. Tried to use it, but lost it recently. So we have to track that and see if it can get back up on top. I'm positive it can get back up, but it's been very, very painful for Ethereum, sadly. You know, I wish it was kind of tracking more like Bitcoin and XRP, where it was still hanging out somewhat, you know, like up here, like near its highs, you know. If it looked anything like XRP, it would be somewhere like, it would have established some kind of a range, like below its all-time, like below its high for the year, and it'd be somewhere around like 3,500, 3,600, but it's all the way down at 1,997, you know. Sadly. I have no idea why. I'm not sure. I haven't done the research. But even Solana has been kind of lackluster lately. And Solana's a big deal. It did get a technical new all-time high, just under $300. But it's back down to 130, you know, 132 bucks. Crazy. And once again, like this, it had an uptrend going, and it gave it up. Anyway, what else are we gonna look at? That's about it. I've just been watching XRP and Bitcoin like neck and neck lately. Mainly because I'm invested in XRP at the moment. And I've got a position, and I want to see it I want to see it recover where I got in, first of all, and grow further. So yeah, it's been a bit of a nail biter at times, like when it gets back below $2. That's been painful. Like to have bought it, you know, through this cluster over here, or where, I don't even remember where I bought it. I think it was, oh yeah, it was on this, because this was the Trump pump, as people call it, because he tweeted about it, or he put out a post about it on X. He said XRP, Solana, ADA, and then the next day it just dumped, like gave it all back. Yeah, I FOMO'd, exactly. So I thought, yeah, cool, it's ignited, because I've been watching XRP like a lot of people since this run up, since, you know, it's been one of the high performing blue chips. So the fact that it went up and got a new high, that was incredible. And then seeing this, it's like, okay, this is just like an accumulation. This is a buying opportunity. You know, these dips, that's how I saw it. And so yeah, I got in stupidly. Just impatience. That was just, you know, I've been in crypto since 2018. I should know better, but it happens to the best of us and the worst of us. I'm the worst of us. Anyway, I'm not stressed. It's just a patience game, I think. Yeah, a lot of people are feeling the pain. I don't think there's anyone that has been through the last 2 years in crypto and not felt pain out of the market, because it's been volatile in all directions, and yeah, it's out to get you. Like, the market is out to wipe you out. That's the point. That's what the people that move the market, you know, like, or whatever's moving the market, at least from the intraday, especially the intraday, their goal is to wipe you out. So be careful. What's up, Juan Diego Santos? Hey, yo. I'm French. I eat pain for breakfast. Yeah, damn. I got wiped out rebuilding, lessons learned. Yeah, man, I've been there. I've been there a couple of times, wiped out. It happens. And one of the reassuring things is there's a guy that wrote a book on markets, and he's known as like a legend through trading and investing. Mark Douglas. He wrote a book called Trading in the Zone. But in that book, he explains how that when he started, he blew up accounts numerous times before he found his approach to the market, before he learned the ropes. He lost all his money, like, multiple times. So it's about your staying power and your ability to learn from where you went wrong and not repeat those mistakes. It can be expensive, like, no doubt. Like, it's an expensive thing to learn. But once you get it and you harness the right approach to it, you know, it's very lucrative. It can be very, very lucrative. It can be a living. Many people make a living off this. You know, the stock market, like crypto, like, you've seen the influencers, like the crypto people that are now living in Dubai, driving around in Lamborghinis and living in high-rise apartment, going to parties every day. You know, that it is possible. They're just the ones that figured it out a lot sooner and haven't repeated mistakes, like, you know, burning through money and whatever. It is not easy. Even for them, I don't think it's easy. Like, but I think it's discipline. Like, it's your ability to adapt to a changing market, and not get too caught up, or not too fixed to a direction, like, and not too biased. Like, I feel that's probably the way to get on top of things. You've got to be adaptive. You know, you have to adapt. Because if you're not, if you don't adapt, you're gonna get wrecked. Like it's gonna stop you out. It's gonna liquidate you. You know, some people were calling Bitcoin to be, you know, that everything since FTX was just like a dead cat bounce. It was all just gonna get sold off again. And look how wrong they've been. Look where we are. You know, we made it to like 100, almost 110k from 15.8, 15.6. That's a huge achievement. And there was multiple channels like on YouTube saying that this is all just, you know, that it's all going to come crashing down again soon. And it didn't. It's maintained lows since FTX, right? Like it's like, yes, it shoots for highs. Yes, those highs get corrected. But for the most part, we've maintained higher lows each time, you know, from the previous. So our lows as it stands right now, you know, the 24th of March 2025, 23rd for you guys in the US. As it stands now, like our low is in 77,000, whatever it is, you know. I won't get too technical on the price, but yeah, the low around 77. We'll call it 77. The low is in for now until it gets beaten. You know, if there's a low that comes in, if there's another sell-off that happens and we get below 77, the low's in. That's how I treat it. And we're just waiting for that next like grind. It could be a grind. It could be painful and frustrating, but you know, it may do something like that. Just like it did over here, right? Sort of, there was like a nice optimistic bounce, and then it sort of slumped again, but then we got this huge explosion after, and it was, yeah, that wasn't the end of the bull market. There was other phase to it. Let me just see what this rejection was. See this sell-off right here? That's got to be a fib level. I haven't really checked, but if we take this high all the way down to the lowest low, yeah, okay, it was a golden pocket. It even pushed a little bit beyond it, but for the most part, that's like the golden pocket right there. Rejection at the golden pocket, and then sold off. And then it probably did a Fibonacci bounce right here, maybe a 50. That looks like it might be a 50. Let's check it. Yeah, 50%. So support at the 50 and then moved up. So for those that don't know already, and most of us probably do, a Fibonacci move, like to find a retracement point, you're just taking the leg from the low, like the extreme to the extreme, right? So the low to the extreme high. So I'm just measuring this move here. That's all I'm measuring, just this. So you use that move to find out, okay, if we're correcting off the high, where's it going to bounce? And these are like the likely levels, right? This is the likely levels that you find some kind of reaction. 0.5 and the 0.618 are very common. Like, so a bounce at the 0.5 or a bounce at the 0.618 are very likely. Those are the most highly likely points for a bounce. Whether it's a bounce or a rejection, depending on the direction that you're measuring at. Yeah. What kind of Fibonacci situations did we get ourselves into on like the last couple of years? Let's have a look. Get rid of all these drawings. Like, was this pullback here, was that a fib level of something? Probably. Let's have a look. So from the low, the market low, all the way up to the high of the time. Yeah, it was kind of like a, what's that, a 382? 382 Fibonacci bounce. Some people are critical, like a little bit, you know, skeptical, I would say, of the Fibonacci retracement tool, like that there's just so many levels that, yes, you're gonna find some activity around one of them and just say, oh yeah, look, it's a 382. Oh yeah, look, it's a 236, you know, because there's something for everyone. It's just something at every interval. But I don't know, if enough people follow it and trade off it, then yeah, it's gonna be a thing. 1 second. I'll be right back. Might be a second.
That's a button.
I'm just hanging out with my nephew here. Come up here.
Hmm.
Look. Can you say Bitcoin? Say Bitcoin. Go. Bitcoin. Say it.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, say it into there.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, yeah. Say crypto. Crypto. Say technical analysis. Yep, you heard it here. Say Fibonacci retracement. Say it into here.
And a Christmas.
Yeah, you heard it. Fibonacci. Fibonacci. Retracement. Yeah. Good boy. Go ride your scooter. Put your foot on the brake. Yep. And balance. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. It's a little dude learning about Fibonacci retracements. Wow, that's a big jump. Jump. Gonna grow up to lose lots of money. Just like his uncle. Woo! Clever. Yeah?
Wow.
Is that your nipper?
Yep. That's my nipper, and
Blower.
that's my blower vac. My leaf blower. To make the nozzle goes longer, so yeah. What's what? That charges the batteries. That's a battery charger for it. For my nipper. Yeah, that's a blower. Yeah, on there. On the back. Yep.
That. Put your brake on that. And put your foot on this. My head. This. Go this. Go this.
Hey, check out. It's going up. Look. Wow. Bitcoin is going up.
Coin.
Bitcoin. Can you say Dogecoin? Doge? Doge. The Dome coin, he's calling it. That's a guitar. Electric guitar. Wow. Oh, a speaker. That's called an amplifier. A Marshall amp. That's an acoustic guitar. Acoustic. That's electric. Yeah, that's a whippersnipper. Yeah. Yeah, I'll use it on the grass. Yeah. That's a shoe. Yeah. Yeah, I got new shoes on. Yeah. That's a vacuum cleaner. Yeah. I love the What's That game. Don't you love it? Vacuum cleaner, yeah. Yeah. That's where all the dust goes. It's like the button. That's the tube that goes into the... That's like where the filter goes. The filter. To filter out the small dust.
Why?
You got your bike. It's at home, yeah. 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 Call Alex. What? That's what it is. Like, no one asked you how fast you can run in your new shoes. I know, right? My new Nikes. Well, they're not new. They're really old. These ones are old. So yeah, Bitcoin racing up to maybe 86. Bitcoin. You say XRP? XRP? Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Yeah, it's like a gumboot. To you, it's like a gumboot. My shoes. I'm not wearing it. See? You say Ethereum? You say Ethereum?
Famia.
Ethereum?
Ethereum.
Yeah. Or can you say ETH? ETH. I think if I stood, yeah, I think if I stood on that, I'd break it, because it's a kid's scooter. Yeah. Oh, is that a guard, like a mud guard? It broke. Yeah. Wow, Bitcoin's on the move. What? Wow, let's go Bitcoin.
Coin.
Bitcoin.
Coin. Coin. Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. That's a keyboard.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. You say, look, XRP.
P.
Yep. What else have we got? Say Ethereum.
Ethereum.
Yeah, or ETH.
ETH.
ETH. Yeah. ETH. Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
XRP.
Up the P.
Dogecoin.
Coin.
He called it Go Coin. That's cute. Go Coin.
Do it on this.
Say Solana.
Solana. Alex.
Yeah.
Do on.
Do a wheelie.
No,
A wheelie.
Scooter.
On the scooter.
Do put your hand around.
Yeah.
You hold your hand on this.
Hold your hand on there. Yeah. You gotta balance. Balance. Very wobbly. Oh wow. I see, it turns when you lean.
A foot on the scooter.
Wow.
On the scooter.
That's an impressive move out of Bitcoin, to be honest, in the last hour. Pretty good. Pretty good. Excellent. Excellent reaction. Yeah. Fall down. The price fell down in February. Yeah.
You call it a bear market.
Yeah. It just goes, yeah.
When prices fall down. When prices fall down,
Be my friend.
you be your friend. Yeah.
That's nice. I'll be my friend.
And you can be your friend.
Grandpa.
Am I grandpa? No. No, I'm uncle. Oh, is my friend grandpa? No, he's my dad. Yeah, he's my daddy. Yeah. Oh, it broke in. Put it in the bin. That out? Yeah. In the bin.
That's it. Good job. So there's the daily close. So we got the Monday candle is gonna happen now.
Wow. The wheels are lighting up. Yeah.
So that, if you go to the daily chart here, we've got a 2.89% move up on XRP and a 2.67% up move on Bitcoin. It's pretty cool. See if the Monday candle can do some follow-up work to keep going up with any luck. Hopefully. That's a keyboard. No. Because it'll change. That's the letter D. So far, it's a little bit of a pullback.
That's a door handle. Yeah. It's a handle. It's broken.
All right. I'm gonna wrap this stream up. We've got the daily close. Let's see, what are we? Yeah, 2 minutes into the new day. So I'm just gonna quickly look at the calendar, the crypto calendar, the Forex calendar, and see if there's any big events coming up this month, the rest of this month.
That's a scale. To weigh yourself, yeah.
GDP final. Okay, so we've got like a week left of March, a week left of Q1. Final GDP score comes in, and then yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, I'll try and stream again. I've got 3 days off now, so I might be able to stream this time tomorrow as well, and the next day. But until then, keep your eyes on the charts and be patient. That's all I can say. All right, bye.